Part 422. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4211. There was a flicker of struggle in Lei Hai's eyes. Think, more. His thoughts wandered, his expression flickered. For a while, some expressions were not in place. Rhythm and everything are trembling a little bit. The stream of consciousness is being suppressed little by little, and then suppressed again. After thinking about it, the intention is unclear. I would like to follow the Lord to conquer all directions. If the master has no ambitions, the subordinates may feel empty and remorseful. But when the subordinate sees the ambition of the Lord, he will know that the subordinate has read the right person. As for following the existence of the Lord, the subordinates will have a future and a future. My Lord is the noble person whom my subordinates have chosen. My Lord, please accept my subordinates' obeisance. Boom. The kowtow gesture is displayed. Immediately, there was more blood on Lei Hai's forehead. This guy really doesn't regard his body as his body. You know nothing about fear. Do you know who I want to target? Are you talking nonsense here? Some things are not as simple as you think. Fang Fan sneered. My Lord's ambition is high. I don't know what the Lord said. What does it mean? My Lord, do you want to be the master of the hall? The position of the master of the third rank? Lei Hai's eyes lit up, and he said pleasantly. He bet right? If Fang Fan can become the master of Tianyuan Hall, then he can become the master of the palace, isn't it easy? Fang Fan shook his head with a calm expression. Good on. Not satisfied with the third rank hall master. My lord, do you still want to set foot in that, the position of banner master? Is that so? Lei Hai clenched his fists, excited. No. Fang Fan shook his head again. Lei Hai was confused. This is not, that is not, what is it? You, speak clearly. It made me feel numb all over, and I didn't know what to say. This is too difficult. Call. My lord. Above the master of the first rank flag, he is the envoy of the rankless god. The envoys are all carefully selected by Vulcan. We ordinary people simply don't have the qualifications to get involved in that kind of existence. My lord, don't you know the doorway here, don't you know very well? Lei Hai gritted his teeth. At this moment, he looked more and more confused. At this moment, I don't know what to say at all. Anyway, the more I thought about it, the more numb I became. Everything has changed. So, between you and me, may not be compatible. In your eyes, you feel that the master of the first rank of the banner is at the top. I don't even dare to think about the so-called gradeless divine envoy. But you might as well think about it. What is the so-called gradeless divine envoy? Rainless god envoy, is it very powerful? It's just a dog raised by that Vulcan. Haven't you thought about usurping the throne? Fang Fan said calmly. This is not a big deal. Basically, no big deal. After all, Fang Fan's own enemy is the so-called god of destruction Caesar. If he didn't even dare to have the idea of usurping the god's throne, Fang Fan would have no choice but to die when he was discovered by Caesar, the god of destruction. Obviously, this was not what Fang Fan wanted. His goal is more far-reaching. The road ahead is being determined without limit. Thinking thousands of times, the consciousness is confused. Usurp the throne. Whirring. My lord. You. Lei Hai wanted to say, my lord, are you a sand sculpture? But any normal person would not say such silly words, right? You have completely tossed yourself into it. If it continues like this, it will really be completely cold. To usurp the throne? Good guy, You really dare to think about it? Afraid of dying, right? Horrible. Terrible. Thinking of this, black lines gathered in place on his forehead. Immediately, I didn't know how to express it at all. Life is impermanent, nothing more than that. Thinking about it this time, it was too exciting. Mentality or something, completely exploded. After a wave, it was also locked in place. Are you still willing to follow me? If I were a god, you would be a rankless envoy. If I am the king of gods, you are the true god. The premise is that I want your loyalty. If you let me know what you have in mind, you should know how I will treat you. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and said calmly. Confused. Lei Hai was confused again. He didn't know what was wrong, he was confused so many times today. Once and for all, I was so confused. The more you think, the deeper you feel. Is he testing me? It should be, yes. Normal people shouldn't say such things. Did he test my loyalty? If he is faithful, keep him. If he is unfaithful, will he be killed? Is it promoted according to this meaning? So, what should I do next? Numb all the time, definitely not. Something has to be done. In moments of confusion, thoughts flutter. The performance is exceptionally wonderful. For a moment, completely locked in the present moment. My Lord. No matter where you are, I am willing to honor you as Lord. No matter what order you give, your subordinates will execute it without compromise. My Lord, the direction you ordered is my destiny. My Lord. Please trust me. My Lord. Just watch my future performance. My Lord, I will definitely not let you down. My Lord, even if you ask me to slaughter the gods now, I am willing to carry it out to the end. Boom. Bang bang bang. Lei Hai touched his head to the ground, and immediately made a series of crashing sounds. At this moment, his expression and complexion were extremely serious. Figured it out, completely figured it out now. For a moment, his eyes fluttered, and his consciousness superimposed crazily. Fang Fan sneered. This is an iron-headed baby. He has talked to this point, what can Fang Fan do? I really lack a person like you who can do practical things by my side. So, you can stay. It's still the same sentence, you are loyal and have a bright future in the future. If you rebel, your tomorrow will be a fugitive. Fang Fan murmured to himself, and during the conversation, the suppressed consciousness gradually came into place. Fang Fan's voice was not loud. Fang Fan's cultivation base is not high, it's just a one-star pseudo-god realm, let alone has any powerful aura. But at this moment, Lei Hai felt a gust of dark wind blowing past him. Immediately, he felt a chill down his back. That taste, that feeling, seemed especially trembling. While his eyes flickered, he couldn't say a word, and he couldn't show his consciousness in place. Immediately, gradually frightened. My lord, don't worry, Lei Hai knows it well. From today onwards, Lei Hai's life belongs to the Lord. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4212. Lei Hai spoke forcefully and loudly. Obviously, this is the purest thought and consciousness in the heart. All of a sudden, it was fully swept in place. Among them, the passion, let's talk to that person. According to the established direction and measure, carry out to the end. In the depths of consciousness, the surge is abnormal. Gradually, some people can't control the rhythm. Lei Hai felt that what was in front of his eyes was a broad road. He is excited. He is excited. He felt the surging future. Loudly. Full of passion. The sincerity in it, let me tell you. This wave is being promoted without limit. Everything, will come eventually. will come. Deep down, pure, and philosophical. From today onwards, you are the deputy city lord of Beatty City. Help me deal with the affairs of Beatty City. As for the people in Snow Eagle Fort, you can choose for yourself. See who can still use it, and who must be discarded. It's mostly up to you what you think. Do not disappoint me. I trust you. Fang Fan nodded silently, and his emotions gradually became smoother as he spoke. Obey my lord. Subordinates will never give up. My lord, these are the beads of faith that I have accumulated in Snow Eagle Castle during this period of time. A total of 1.28 billion. As much as you want. And these treasures. The subordinates are willing to hand in all of them. To show the sincerity of the subordinates. Boom. Lei Hai touched his head to the ground, and then raised his head and chest, his consciousness became surging. In the depths of the eyes, the passion is boundless. While talking at the moment, the corners of his mouth couldn't help trembling slightly. I can't help but feel tremors in my heart. At this moment, such a rhythm, smooth development. Everything is the most real appearance. It's so heartfelt, so feeling, infinite smile. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows. If it was something else, he really didn't want to ask for it, and he didn't lack it. To be the Lord and the Lord, you should have a look. But if you want to talk about faith beads, I won't be so sleepy. What I lack is this thing. These treasures, you take them back. Faith bead, I accept it. From today onwards, the faith beads in the entire Changling mansion do not need to be turned in. Stay all. Fang Fan said straightforwardly. Ah. Lei Hai froze for a moment, feeling a little dazed. My lord, do you mean that the one handed over to the Tianyuan Palace will not be given? You have just gained a firm foothold in Changling Mansion, and then you are going to do this directly, isn't it a bit bad? Lei Hai whispered beside him. He felt a little overdone. All beads of faith must flow down. 100 villages in Changling Mansion. Each village can accumulate almost 5,000 faith beads every month, and 100 villages can save 500,000 faith beads. In addition, every castle and the civilians around the castle can offer faith beads. In Fukan, these Fukan civilians can also offer faith beads. In this way, it is no problem to confiscate millions of faith beads a month. If we follow the previous model, only 100,000 of the million faith beads will be left. Too little. Far from enough. All the beads of faith must be kept. This is the foundation. Fang Fan snorted coldly, all kinds of momentum swept in place, and for a while, the passion slowly, such an explosive gesture is inexplicably frightening. Gradually, I couldn't say a word, I could only stare and stare numbly. I felt it silently, and my mood jumped to the extreme. Impermanence of life. So exciting. It feels a little overdone. Anything feels as long as it is over, it looks a little bad. There will be some strange thoughts in my heart more or less. This time, the sense of anxiety gathered in place, and the expression changed to the extreme. For a while, I couldn't control myself at all. My lord, if you have ambitions, it's a good thing. But having ambition and how to execute them are two different things. Among them, there is a huge difference. My lord, otherwise, or else, it's better to be safe. If we are targeted by the Tianyuan Palace, we can still talk about it. The subordinates still have some connections with the Tianyuan Palace. But if the Blood Demon banner above or even the Wu Divine Envoy know about it, we will be dead. The owner of the Blood Demon banner, Tang Suand, is a heinous existence. If he doesn't turn in his faith bead, he will bloodbath the entire Changling mansion. Earlier, one of the palace masters under him was late for handing in the faith bead for a few days, and the palace master's family was beheaded. My lord, we We must not be careless. Good on. My lord, hold on to hope. On the side, Lehi wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, and then said hastily. He was terrified. Do not worry. I have a measure. What mansions are there around here? Fang Fan asked casually. Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, Yugzu Mansion. These three prefectures are not very far from our location. If possible, it will arrive soon. My lord, what do you mean by this? You don't mean to? Lehi groaned, and asked hesitantly. He is a smart person, in fact, he has already thought of something in his heart, but at this time, he still can't believe it. Could this be real? Why do you feel extreme tremors when you think about it in your heart? After thinking about it, I was too flustered. If the rhythm here is not well grasped, something big will happen. And, not a trivial matter. You send a few people to have a look, we can contact the relationship. Aren't there many treasures in our Changling mansion? Exchange with them, exchange faith beads. Remember, I want faith beads, and I need a lot of faith beads. It's okay to be a bit expensive. As long as there is. Fang Fan groaned, and while talking, his eyes were shining brightly. Thoughts wandered in place, consciousness gradually gathered. Gradually, there is already some deeper consciousness. The more I think about it, the more real this feeling becomes. Only when you are stable can you have hope, and only when you are stable can you be qualified to fantasize. Feel what this fantasy is all about? Will follow. Sitting on the seat of Palace Master, I feel nothing. The original White Emperor city that Fang Fan established also became the White Emperor Mansion. The name of Changling Mansion also changed. Fang Fan came to the original Palace Master's mansion. This is the mansion of Lu Hong, the original owner of the mansion, so it naturally belongs to Fang Fan now. The country has changed, and this person will naturally have to follow suit. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, thinking to himself, his expression slightly changed. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4213. When night falls, everyone gathers together and holds a celebration banquet. The Changling Mansion has been defeated, so it is natural to follow Shu Xuang. The feeling is the best when you are slightly drunk. Fang Fan also indulged. After being completely relieved, Fang Fan returned to the room. In the room, there are already beauties waiting. Who are you? Fang Fan was alert for an instant. My father is Lu Hong. The beauty gritted her silver teeth and looked at Fang Fandao. Fang Fan nodded silently, instantly understanding. This wave, I immediately understood. It turned out to be the daughter of Lu Hong, the original owner of Changling Mansion. Originally, as the daughter of the palace master, she should live a very carefree life, doing whatever she wanted, with no restraint and no jurisdiction, free and easy. But not anymore. Was completely restrained. Deep in my heart, there should be some melancholy, right? But so what? In the end, you can only accept this situation. After all, it was fate. Time is like ink, and ink is like time. Everything is unspeakable. I killed your father. Fang Fan reminded. The servants know. The glamorous girl gritted her silver teeth. Do you hate me? Hatred. You really want to kill me? Yes, but I won't do it, because then I will die too, and I don't want to die yet. The general who brought me said that if something happens to you, everyone in our Lu family will die. The glamorous girl bit her red lips, then took off her clothes and walked over on her own initiative. he is an interesting person. It's a pity that we were born in such an era. When you are here, you should already know what to experience in your heart. Helpless. Want to rebel? These emotions, of course, are there. But in the end, apart from enduring, apart from accepting, what can be done? Life. This is life. Whether you accept it or not. After all, it is like this. Have a great night. When Fang Fan woke up the next day, there was still a trace of tears on the face of the beauty beside him. My lord. My lord. There was a burst of noise outside, it was Lei Hai's voice. Fang Fan frowned, this Lei Hai didn't look like the kind of person who didn't know what to do, why did he suddenly become like this? Shouting so loudly? What is this for? It's too reckless. Is something wrong? Fang Fan pondered, his thoughts fluttered, and his expression changed slightly. The situation was not right. Fang Fan frowned, opened the door without any hesitation. At this moment, Lei Hai's face was full of travel and dust, and his expression was slightly nervous. My lord. Something serious has happened. Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion raised troops to attack our Beatty Mansion in the name of avenging Palace Master Lu Hong. The three prefectures raised 10,000 troops each. The Palace Masters of Tianluo Mansion and Methreya Mansion are all 8-star pseudo-god realm existences, and the Palace Masters of Yugzu Mansion are even 9-star pseudo-god realm existences. Call. My lord, this wave, the situation in this wave is critical. My lord, it's better to make plans early. It would be bad if something happened. This Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion are too shameless. How good is the relationship between them and Lu Hong? When Lu Hong was in a state of desperation, he asked them for help, but no one was willing to send troops. Now that Lu Hong dies, he has become righteous. This group of people are really shameless to the extreme. They said it like this, it's clear that they want to take advantage of the new establishment of our Beatty Mansion, and want to come over to fight the autumn wind. It would be even better if we could take the opportunity to plunder a few castles in our White Emperor's mansion. There are also many treasures in this huge city. They just want to come and loot. Lei Hai gritted his teeth, feeling extremely resentful in his heart. They took the initiative to attack. This is fine. There should be no shortage of resources from the three prefectures. Fang Fan froze for a moment, then became excited. These are all opportunities. The key depends on whether you can grasp it or not. As long as you can grasp it, the benefits are endless. The smile on Fang Fan's mouth was the same as before, and his eyes flickered, and the passion in it, let alone talk to that person. At the moment, all of these things are being promoted in an all-round way according to the established direction. It feels quite interesting. Everything is okay. My lord, you can still laugh. That's the three houses. Each prefecture has 10,000 troops, and the three prefectures have 30,000 troops. 30,000 troops, this. Lei Hai was relieved after speaking. He has been substituting his own thinking. What I thought was how to fight against the 30,000 army if I led the army myself. But if you think about it now, isn't this nonsense? What can he think? The point is, this kind of thing has something to do with him having a hammer. It's completely unsuitable, isn't it? Thinking of this, the whole person instantly went numb. After a wave, I couldn't say a word, I just rolled my eyes blindly. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. This is probably the kind of emotion and thinking. My lord, I actually underestimated my lord. Sorry my lord, I was too self-centered just now. I feel that if it is based on my combat power, I really can't grasp it. But these things are never a big deal to the lord. My lord's appearance as a god, what is this little scene worth? It's fine if the bandits don't come, but if they do come, they won't be able to escape your grasp. The subordinates seem to have seen the scene where they were beaten to pieces. The strength of the Lord is unparalleled. On the side, Lehi was relieved, and while talking, the smiles on his face gradually increased. Fang Fan listened silently. But listening to this, why does it feel that something is not right? This tone, isn't it a little too flattering? I feel like I've been flattering and saying good things about him. The main forces of Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion have come to attack us, so we can attack them too. Order all the troops to evacuate from Fukin. This prefecture can be given to them for the time being. Let those under your command hide around. You followed me and destroyed the prefectures of Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion. They should still have a lot of faith beads, right? Taking their lair, it should be exciting. While Fang Fan was talking, his eyes couldn't help flickering. Over time, it gradually became more exciting. Passion, smooth in place. Whatever you feel, rush to the end. Follow the established direction, so come on. As long as you can bear it, it's basically not a problem. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4214. For Fang Fan, it doesn't matter what Changling Mansion is. To be honest, he really didn't care. All he cares about is the bead of faith. All the beads of faith in Changling Mansion have been excavated. The potential is basically exhausted. Fang Fan was thinking about how to get more faith beads, and then Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion came over to attack. Fang Fan can take advantage of the situation and accept them. As long as you can grasp it well, these will not become a big problem. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, feeling that everything was sublimated in an all-round way. The taste in it is even more telling to that person. It feels quite exciting. What I want is this feeling. Comfortable and fun. Those who should come will follow. As long as you can hold on, none of this is a problem. My lord, isn't this a bit too dangerous? Abandon the foundation of Beatty Mansion completely, and go directly to attack the other three mansions. In case of some accident, our foundation will be gone. If we can refuse to stay in Fukin, perhaps we will have a greater chance of winning. My lord. Lehi groaned, and expressed his thoughts. On the whole, there is actually no problem. The key depends on what angle and direction you want to think about the problem. If you don't grasp this well, no matter how much you talk about it, it will be in vain. Refuse to defend the city. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Wait for them to come. And then all the rhythm and so on will be controlled by them. In this way, it is too aggrieved. At that time, if they delay attacking us for 10 days and a half months, or change routes halfway, do we have to wait? Since they've already bared their fangs, let's do this to the end. Anyway, it's already like this. Exactly, I don't know how many resources there are in the three prefectures. Not bad. By the way, Lehi, in the future, the faith beads we harvested will be directly intercepted, and then you can sell the resources you seized. Remember, don't sell in Tianyuan Temple. Fang Fan suddenly reminded. Ah. Why don't you sell them in Tianyuan Hall? My lord, is there any special way to say this? Lehi opened his mouth, feeling inexplicably dazzled at the moment. Because the faith beads in the entire Tianyuan Temple are mine. I'm holding my own bead of faith, it's not interesting. We should take a longer view, so that we can earn more beads of faith. Fang Fan nodded, deeply convinced. Lehi. Oh my god. Want to be so exciting? Impermanence of life? Are there any of these? If you do this, you really won't be sleepy at all. Instantly, numb. What else can I say about this thing? My lord, you are really far-sighted. Subordinates are extremely admired. Lehi smiled wryly. What else could he say at this moment? Once you have a plan, follow this plan to fully implement it. Just like this, as long as there is a goal and a direction. 1. Starting, Tianluo Mansion. Let's use the faith bead of your fingers to promote all the legions under your command. Now I have 10 legions under my command. Except for the Shenlong Gran Legion or the 6-star Pseudo-God Realm Legion, the remaining 9 legions are all 4-star Pseudo-God Realm Legions. The gap is indeed a bit big. What needs to be done now is to gradually close that gap. It's not a big problem to follow the established direction. Before Lehi offered me 1.2 billion faith beads. Almost enough. Choose to promote all legions to the 5-star Pseudo-God Realm. Fang Fan snorted secretly, and there were flashes of light in his eyes. With such a posture, he was being suppressed like a mountain and a sea. Thoughts, feelings, etc., all followed in place. For a moment, the radiance in the eyes spun infinitely. Ding. Consuming 1,090,000,000 belief beads to buy 1,090,000,000 God-level promotion cards, 9 4-star Pseudo-God Realm Legions were successfully promoted to 5-star Pseudo-God Realm. As a result, the Faith Orb in Fang Fan's hand was almost consumed. But in this way, the size and formation of the top 10 legions became stronger. Ding. The host's determination to develop a great cause has been detected. Now issue a series of missions for Great Plan and Dominance. Mission Introduction. The host gradually expands his territory and achieves the highest position. The task of the first stage, be promoted to the 5th rank Mansion Master, occupy the land of a mansion. Reward, the Master's cultivation level will be increased by 3 levels. All legions will be raised by 1 level. Completed, the reward will be reissued later. Second stage task, promote to the 3rd rank Hall Master, occupy the land of the 1st hall. Reward, the host's cultivation level will be increased by 3 levels, and all legions will be upgraded by 1 level. The third phase of the mission, promote to be the master of the 1st class banner, occupy the land of the 1st class banner. Reward, the master's cultivation level will be increased by 3 levels, and all legions will be upgraded by 1 level. The fourth phase of the task, not updated yet. Fang Fan was caught off guard by the sudden task. It feels like it came suddenly. For a moment, the picture in front of him completely split. The stream of consciousness is also constantly stirring. It also feels a little bit wrong. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully occupying the land of a mansion, and have completed the first phase of the mission of Great Plan Overlord. Ding. The mission rewards are being distributed. The host's cultivation base has increased by 3 levels. All legions have increased by 1 level. Ding. The host's cultivation base has been successfully promoted from the 1-star Pseudo-God Realm to the 4-star Pseudo-God Realm. Ding. The 6-star Pseudo-God Realm Dragon Army has been successfully promoted to the 7-star Pseudo-God Realm. 9 5-star Pseudo-God Realm Legions have been successfully promoted to the 6-star Pseudo-God Realm. The sudden joy made Fang Fan completely paralyzed. Can you still play like this? The one that was hung up exploded right away. Master! Master! My lord! Galen Vega and the other 6 heroes walked over excitedly, with surprise on their faces. Obviously, when Fang Fan's cultivation base improved, their cultivation base also rose with the tide. This wave, all followed suit. Impermanence of life. Exciting. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is directly stupid. I am now in the 4-star Pseudo-God Realm, and the cultivation base of the 6 heroes cannot exceed 3 levels of me. Now they are the existence of the 7-star Pseudo-God Realm. In addition, the Shenlong Gran Legion has also been promoted to the 7-star Pseudo-God Realm, and the other 9 legions have also been promoted to the 6-star pseudo-god realm. If I can successfully occupy the territory of the first hall and become the master of the hall, I can continue to reward a wave. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 4215. This wave, didn't this momentum follow? Fang Fan licked his lips, thinking to himself, the light in his eyes flickered rapidly. All of a sudden, all kinds of rhythms and consciousness fluttered along. At this moment, I feel inexplicably excited and surging. According to the established direction, output in an all-round way. Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, Yugzu Mansion. For the time being, let's take them under the knife. It's still a matter of finding a strategy to implement. First clean up these mansions. Finally, go to persecute Tianyuan Hall little by little. Fang Fan nodded secretly, breathed out silently, the thoughts and ideas in his mind gradually increased, and the smile on the corner of his mouth was fully displayed. Now he has a 7-star pseudo-god realm dragon army under his command. There are also 9 6-star pseudo-god realm legions. In Tianyuan Hall, is there any place that he can't go to? If you are a little upset, just kill it in seconds, basically it is not a big problem. Carry out comprehensive promotion in accordance with the established direction. 3 days later, Tianluo Mansion was destroyed. Seized 2.1 billion faith beads. 5 days later, the Methreya Mansion was destroyed, and 2.2 billion faith beads were seized. 8 days later, the Yugzu Mansion was destroyed, and 3.9 billion faith beads were seized. Facts have proved that the existence of this Yugzu Mansion is indeed stronger. At least the harvest in this mansion is more. Feeling silent and searching, the corners of Fang Fan's mouth gradually raised. Thinking secretly in my heart, various thoughts in my mind gradually increased. The 3 mansions of Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion were destroyed. A total of more than 8 billion faith beads have been seized. If you put it in the past, this is naturally a huge number. But right now, the worst legion under my command is a 6-star pseudo-god realm. If you want to promote a 6-star pseudo-god realm legion to a 7-star pseudo-god realm, you will need more than 10 billion faith beads at every turn. Bad, too much. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and couldn't help feeling silently. Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion were taken down one after another. This is a trend. According to this trend, if it is fully displayed, it will eventually evolve into a shocking position. The Tianyuan Hall shook. The 3 prefectures under his command were suddenly wiped out like this. How can this work? Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Palace, was furious and personally ordered to kill the traitor Fang Fan. So Fang Fan at this moment is directly in the state of full wanted. In such a situation, if you are not careful, various changes may occur. Terrified, disbelieving, and viscerally messy. Gradually, it became completely difficult to exercise self-control. In the end, all consciousness was emptied smoothly. There is nothing better than this cool moonlight. This time thinking is in place, the whole person looked at it in panic, unable to speak. It's over. Also cool. The entire Tianyuan Hall immediately became lively. If you want to talk about anger at this moment, the most angry ones are naturally the palace masters of Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion. They formed a coalition to attack Fang Fan, but Fang Fan didn't see it, didn't reap the benefits, and his lair was wiped out. Impermanence of life. To be honest, the situation at this moment is too difficult to control. If you are not careful, you may fall headlong into it. In the end, even the bare minimum of hope could not be seen. Then the whole person went numb. Difficult, too difficult. After thinking about it a little bit, I feel that there are bursts of surging consciousness in the chest that are praising it. That taste, that feeling, seemed extremely uncomfortable. When his eyes flickered, his consciousness and everything became messy. In the end, I couldn't say a word. Impermanence of life. Naturally, it was impossible for the three palace masters to just let it go. Everyone has something hidden in their hearts. At this moment, each of them gritted their teeth, and their expressions gradually became sinister. His eyes gradually became bloodshot, Hesteri's roar followed, and the gnashing of teeth was silently displayed. In the end, naturally, she became numb along with Shun Shun. When Fang Fan came back with soldiers and horses, the three palace masters of Tianluo Mansion, Methreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion led an army of 30,000 and surrounded him. The masters of Tianluo Mansion and Methreya Mansion are 8-star false gods. As for the master of the Yugzu Mansion, he is in the 9-star pseudo-god realm. Anyway, this lineup is naturally very strong. When you are in the 9-star pseudo-god realm, you can step into the quasi-god realm by condensing the godhead or igniting the divine fire. If you condense the godhead and ignite the god fire at the same time, you can directly cross over to the real god realm. God. True gods. The quasi-god realm seems to be the only one. Godhead, godfire. Call. Originally, I feel that these things are very far away from me, and I feel that I can't touch them at all. I just didn't expect it to collide with it now. It does feel a little emotional. It feels like the sea has changed, it's too fast. It doesn't look real even if you look at it, and the expression is not so smooth. A lot of things that follow are messed up. As for what it will end up like, who knows? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself, his thoughts gradually drifting. According to the established procedures, so much praise is in place, it feels not the same. It is quite different from the attitude shown in the impression. You are Fang Fan. You destroyed Tianluo Mansion. Did you kill my whole family? Ah. Ah. Why are you so vicious? Young, so despicable. My palace master and you have had no grievances in the past and have no grievances in the present. The master of Tianluo Mansion's eyes were red, and he couldn't help roaring. While talking at this moment, his lips were trembling crazily, and while speaking, his complexion instantly collapsed. At this moment, the corner of his mouth twitched, and he almost started to vomit immediately. Hateful. Despicable. Dirty. Damn thing. The more I think about it, the more irritable I feel in my heart. Black lines flickered on his forehead, and the desire to vomit followed. For a moment, he felt wobbly, and all his actions felt directly controlled. Panic. This feeling may be there, and there is an inexplicable urge to vomit in my heart at the moment. All this hateful thing. Damn thing. Damn thing. Despicable. Are you talking about me? Actually, instead of talking about me like that, you might as well talk about yourself like that. You know, it was you who led the troops to break into the capital of my Beatty mansion first. You came to attack me first, to squeeze me. It is true that we have no grievances in the past and no hatred in the present. Then why do you treat me like this? You are unrighteous, can I not be unkind? What's the point? Oppressive rule. Who are you to me? I must obey you. It's a joke. Ah. The sneer was fully displayed, and the gleams in the eyes were suppressed to the extreme. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4216. Yu. Snort. Anyway, you're going to die soon. It doesn't matter, I don't care anymore. Wait. This time, you can't escape. After doing all the bad things, you still dare to come back. I think you really want to die. The Lord Bayan of Tianyuan Palace has already ordered you to be killed. Currently, the entire Tianyuan Hall has been deployed with a net of heaven and earth. Opportunity, the opportunity is here. Dead. Die. Hesteri's roar followed, and his expression became more and more sinister to the extreme. For a moment, mentality, or something, instantly messed up. Immediately, the rhythm collapsed. The men and horses of Tianluo Mansion. Kill me. Kill Fang Fan. Take his head. Who is the deputy head of Tianluo Mansion? This government mainly shares wealth with him. Share the world. Roaring sounds came one after another, and for a while, waves of shock swept over. At this moment, the whole person was shocked in an instant. For a moment, his eyes flickered, and he was extremely confused. 10,000 people from Tianluo Mansion rushed over, and the speed was extremely fast. The picture in front of him is shrinking little by little. Gradually, the angle and direction are completely lost. The moment of smooth development makes people feel extremely surging. Gradually, the lock is not in place at all. Boom. 12 6-star Gothic God Destroyer Gatling machine gunners opened fire. In terms of weapons, it is basically a kind of crushing. This time, a violent oppressive suppression was directly carried out. This time, it made people feel extremely frightened and numb. Gradually, I can't control myself at all, and I can't control my body and mind at all. In the end, the will is also not in place. Numb. It's cold. Thoughts are also messed up. After thinking about it, it feels like that is the effect. The cultivators of Tianluo Mansion were killed one by one. There are more and more corpses on the ground. Gradually, extreme horror appeared in the eyes. Immediately, he felt all this numbly, and immediately, all paths were cut off. In the cool moonlight, let's talk to someone. Staring at these this time, the sweat dripped down from his forehead. Horror, but madness. The desire to tear is suppressed to the extreme. Impermanence of life. No more than this. Pretty much, that's it. How so? It's only been a few minutes. More than half of the casualties. I can't accept it, and I can't accept it. Damn it. What is this all about? Am I dreaming? Is this a dream? The corner of the Tianluo Mansion's master's mouth twitched. At this moment, the whole person was frightened. For a moment, the whole person was twitching, and he couldn't control his thoughts at all. Terrible, so terrible. How to grasp this wave? The road is gone. What are you waiting for? Hurry up. Speed. Speed it up. My people from Tianluo Mansion have already gone up, what are you still waiting for here? Ah. Talk to you. Damn it. Move. Speed and move. If you continue to develop wretchedly here, it will be over soon. In the end, it's a dead end. Talking to you, did you hear me? Please answer. The palace master of Tianluo Mansion glared at the palace masters of Maitreya Mansion and Yugzu Mansion at the side, wanting them to attack together. Let him go forward alone. He can't stand it. Terrible. When I think of this, my whole body trembles. Those things in the concept suddenly collapsed. At this moment, what else is there to say? It's cold. It's really cold. The more I think about it, the more terrified I feel. Consciousness suddenly exploded. This Fang Fan doesn't seem to be that easy to deal with. Otherwise, after reporting to the Lord Palace Master, let the Lord Palace Master and his old man make a decision. We can't be too messy at this time. Wouldn't it be great if something goes wrong? I feel, it makes sense. The Lord of Maitreya's mansion rolled his eyes, and laughed outright at this moment, and immediately showed the posture of Maitreya's mansion. After this state is manifested, there is nothing to say about the rest. For a moment, his thoughts were messy and his expression was solemn. That's pretty much it? This wave is a bit too difficult. My brain, buzzing and trembling. It's nothing, I feel like I've been playing with it all along. This is messing around, which means a hammer. Wrong payment after all, wrong payment. With such an idea, there is already nothing to say. With a sigh, I was deeply moved. Gradually, these follow all locks in place. That's pretty much it? What? What do you mean? The three families agreed to advance and retreat together. Now that the situation is not right, are you going to bury me alone? Ah! Damn it! Did any of you do this? You, can you pat your conscience? Has your conscience been eaten by dogs? Ah! Speak. Speak. Don't be dumb. Stop pretending. I'll let you talk. I'm telling you. The cunning rabbit is a dead dog. There are dead eggs under the overturned nest. If I die, you won't live either. Don't think about being alone. Don't think about these spring and autumn dreams. Since the beginning, our fate has been locked together. You want to run away, there is no way. The 10,000 people in my Tianluo mansion are all dead, and it's your turn. Aren't you afraid? Are you really not afraid? Ah! We are in the same boat. Let's fight together. Let's fight together. Don't be timid, okay? Since it's already like this. Let's go together. I can see that the people around Fang Fan who are holding special weapons are more powerful. Those weapons may be extremely special high-level magic weapons. Divine weapons. These are not important, as long as you can rush up and kill this Fang Fan. As long as we can get close to them, these long-range attack weapons will be useless. I said, do you understand? This matter has developed to this point, something must be revealed. Don't pull your hips here all the time. Please. Please. The master of Tianluo Mansion is going crazy. At this moment, he felt that he was about to wear out his lips. But these two bastards still have such an attitude that they have nothing to do with themselves. Popular people can really piss people off sometimes. Shaking all over with anger. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4217. At this time, the 10,000 horses in Tianluo Mansion were almost exhausted. The head of Tianluo Mansion was dumbfounded. Too fast. He just jumped 2 feet, and then nothing happened. How long has passed? Do you have 10 minutes? These part-time jobs are like harvesters, they just harvest a few lives. You are right not to send troops. If you go up, it should be a dead end. After all, you still have some eyesight. But it's wrong for you to sit here and watch the tigers fight. You are seeing signs that something is wrong, you should just run away. Pity. I missed the best time to escape. It's all right now, just stuck here. Even if you want to escape now, you have no chance. Harvest all. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. Interesting. It's so interesting. Follow this direction, this rhythm. Is it exciting? Cool? Isn't it cool? Didn't we all make alliances with blood before? Ah. Didn't you say it all? Blessed and afflicted. Now, it's just time to fulfill the previous promise. Good. Very good. That's all. Not bad. Come on. To die together. Hesteri's roar sounded, and the eyes of the palace master of Tianluo Mansion gradually became bloodshot. At this moment, his complexion gradually became sinister, and his consciousness was directly stabbed to the extreme. For a moment, it seemed that they wanted to lock all these in place. The house masters of Maitreya Mansion and Yugzu Mansion looked at each other, and they both saw panic and anxiety in each other's eyes. At this moment, it can even be said to be restless. A sense of crampedness swept across his face, his complexion became gloomy a little bit, murderous intent flickered in his eyes, and his breathing gradually became rapid. All of a sudden, his expression and other things became messy. This wave is indeed a bit difficult to grasp. If it goes on like this, is it okay? My lord, do you want to continue fighting? They don't seem to have any fighting spirit anymore. My lord, it is really comfortable to fight with you. The whole body exudes such a graceful taste. My lord. The established words were gradually revealed, and the brilliance in the eyes became more and more for a while. Fully promoting the moment, the consciousness fluttered to the extreme. For a while, the comfort gradually became in place, and it was almost stable. It's time to come, you have to follow. Feel the taste or something, you must hold on. There was light gradually in Lei Hai's eyes. What he said at this moment are naturally the most authentic ideas and ideas from the heart. While talking at this moment, his complexion gradually turned red. The sound of breathing is gradually rapid, and the consciousness is gradually reaching the top. They just want to surrender. But now, haven't you completely surrendered? If that's the case, then you can't relax. Do you know? Keep attacking, keep pushing. Wait until they put down the weapons store. Fang Fan waved his hand and said calmly. As long as they don't give up their resistance for a moment, it means that these people are dangerous, they will be suppressed, and they may cause some turmoil. So, of course, we can't relax our vigilance. These must be remembered at all times. Fang Fan let out a mouthful of turbid air silently, his eyes flickered with brilliance, he suppressed his consciousness, and gradually became far-fetched. Those who should come will always follow. Tianluo Mansion is now collapsed. Maitreya Mansion and Yugzu Mansion were also quickly wiped out. The two 8-star pseudo-god realm masters of Tianluo Mansion and Maitreya Mansion were also seriously injured after being besieged. They really wanted to escape, but they obviously couldn't escape at this time. Immediately, they were directly suppressed, and there was a dead end. Blood flowed crazily around the surrounding area, which was inexplicably horrifying and unsettling. For a moment, his eyes flickered, and his whole body was trembling crazily. Too difficult. This time, the more I think about it, the more I feel terrified. Immediately, I couldn't grasp the scale at all. Immediately be suppressed directly. That's pretty much it. Cool moonlight, let's talk to someone. That is to say, the vitality of the master of Yugzu Mansion can be stronger. But when the 7-star pseudo-god realm Divine Dragon Legion displayed the Legion's exclusive skill Human Dragon Unity, there were 18 more 8-star pseudo-god realm fighters in an instant. Although the master of the Yugzu Mansion was a 9-star pseudo-god existence, under such pressure, he gradually collapsed. There are more and more injuries on the body, even if the vitality is tenacious, it is gradually eliminated at this moment. Gradually, it became completely numb, terrified, and burst. The coolness is real. Don't. Whirring. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Let go, let me go, okay. I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Let me go please. I dare not again. We had no enmity before. Everything is a misunderstanding. So, let me go, okay. I'll never come here again. If Your Excellency Yugzu Mansion likes it, you can take it away. I really can't hold it anymore. Diao Zheng, the head of Yugzu Mansion, wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, and his whole body went numb. What's the matter? Really too unlucky? How could such a bad luck happen to him? At this moment, the resentment in my heart reached the extreme. The more I thought about it, the more my brain trembled. His thoughts were messed up, and his consciousness was directly destroyed. Difficult, too difficult. Rhythm or something was suppressed along the way. As soon as he thought of this, the black lines on his forehead flickered in place. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. It's probably just like this. Damn thing. It's all humming dog stuff. I'm really going to throw up now? Fang Fan groaned, and it seemed that Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, had a strange look on his face. According to Fang Fan's previous thinking, this guy must be beheaded. But now, a new idea. It feels good to keep it. The 9-star pseudo-god realm is only a thin line away from the quasi-god realm. If it can be cultivated well, it will be of great use in the future. The key depends on how you want to use it. Coincidentally, the cool-down time of Rage God's contract is in place, which is an excellent opportunity. It depends on whether you can grasp it well. Get it right, you can take off. If you don't grasp it well, you will pull your hips. Thousands of thoughts, clear rhythm. Surrender to me and become my war slave, are you willing? Fang Fan didn't bother to make any preparations, so he expressed his thoughts directly. Ah! Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, was stunned for a moment, his eyes were full of astonishment at the moment, with an expression of whether I heard it wrong. Make me a war slave? Is it possible? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4218. Insult. What an insult. Thinking of this now, my whole body is trembling. Hateful. Despicable. Damn it. Unable to grasp it, it exploded in an instant. In the depths of the mind, the feelings are cold. In an instant, the rhythm was suddenly pulled away. For a while, I was at a loss. Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, gritted his teeth, his eyes gradually turned blood red. Can you change another solution? For example, exchange faith beads and treasures, in exchange for my freedom. Diao Zheng, the head of Yugzu Mansion, said with anticipation. Do you think it's possible? Or, do you think I will agree with your statement? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows and said indifferently. It's good to have ideas. But you can't be too fanciful after all, right? If you have been living in your own fantasy, you can only die after all. Is there no other possibility? Diao Zheng, the head of Yugzu Mansion, gritted his teeth and asked. No. If you still feel pressured, or if you don't want to, you can just say it. There's no need to say too much here. It's useless, but it will appear extremely noisy. What I mean, you should know it yourself. I hope you're doing well on your own. Don't get too involved. Fang Fan shrugged and said calmly. It is useless to say more than this. Rhythm and so on, also collapsed. Come on, what's your idea? Should I be a war slave, or die? Fang Fan didn't bother to waste time anymore, so he explained his consciousness directly at this moment. The head of Yugzu Mansion, Diao Zheng, has blood-red eyes. Obviously, he still couldn't pass the last hurdle. In other words, he still wanted to maintain his dignity. At this moment, the whole body and mind are full of this intense feeling. Life is impermanent, nothing more than this. Too difficult. I was really about to cry. Why, treat him like this? What did he do wrong? I didn't dare to move this greedy heart from the beginning. Thinking that Changling Mansion is in the era of regime change, so I thought of coming here to pick up a bargain. It's all right now, I didn't pick up the cheap, but I let myself feel cool. The more I think about it, the more anxious I feel in my heart. Kill it. Seeing that Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, has been silent. Fang Fan's patience has reached the limit. With a wave of his hand, his consciousness has been revealed to the fullest. You can listen, in the end, you can't listen, that's it? Don't want. I surrender. I am willing to surrender. It was all my fault just now. Don't dare. I really don't dare. I will never dare again. Forgive me. Just forgive me this time. I will not do it again. Real. This is just an accident, it's an accident. I would like to be a war slave. I would like to be a war slave. Just give me one life. Master. Master. Boom. Bang bang bang. Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, frantically touched his head to the ground, and at this moment his last bit of dignity was also reduced to nothingness. Dignity. This thing is really a ridiculous existence many times. In most cases, it has nothing to do with you. After all, it was still a wrong payment. The invisible sense of oppression completely subverts you. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. That's probably how it feels. Experience it a little bit, it feels quite real. Suddenly, there was nothing to say, nothing to say. The rhythm is broken, the consciousness is under control, it's almost perfect. Overall, that's about it. Let go of your consciousness. A contract needs to be signed. Fang Fan nodded, looking very satisfied. At this time, he is quite satisfied with the combat power of a 9-star pseudo-god realm. Ah! Do you still want to sign a contract? Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion, seemed a little hesitant, his lips twitched slightly as he spoke, and the stream of consciousness returned to its place. If not, you are not willing. Forget it then. If it's difficult for you, we won't do it. Let's kill it. Fang Fan nodded, speaking confidently. Diao Zheng, the head of Yugzu Mansion, trembled, and was about to cry at this moment. In the end, do you want to scare him like this? He's just a miserable little cutie. Why did you torture him like this? Life is impermanent. Calm down a little bit. If you can't hold it, it will explode. Really going to explode. When I think of this, I can't control these messy emotions at all. What's the matter? Play. No embarrassment. It's not difficult at all. Really. It's really not difficult. Sign it now. Sign it now. Diao Zheng, the head of Yugzu Mansion, quickly knelt down in the tunnel. Fang Fan didn't bother to say anything, the Rage God's contract took advantage of the situation. Immediately, waves of oppression followed. Stream of consciousness, sweeping across the board. Ah! Ah! It hurts. It hurts. Fang Fan. Didn't you say you won't kill me? Why do you still torture me like this? Worrying. You didn't keep your promise. It hurts. It hurts. Hesteri's roar followed, and immediately his whole body trembled crazily. Immediately, the fierce roaring sound became more and more intense. It feels smooth to the extreme. For a moment, all kinds of streams of consciousness are in unconscious circles. It's real, yet has a different kind of appeal. It is more than words. Give up mind resistance, and it won't hurt. If you keep using your own consciousness to resist like this, you will hurt even more. I have reminded you, I hope you can take care of yourself. Fang Fan shrugged and said calmly. Diao Zheng, the head of Yugzu Mansion, felt that he was walking into an abyss. He could feel that if he walked into this abyss, he might not have any chance to come out again in the future. But there is no way. He had no choice. If he doesn't go in, he will die now. If he went in, at least his life would be ruined for a while, right? Although it is cruel now, but the facts are here, so what can we do? Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. After all, it was still a wrong payment. At the moment, there is an urge to vomit blood. But so what? In the end, didn't he still fall into various sand sculpture consciousness and couldn't extricate himself? Can't experience it, can't feel it, that's it? Diao Zheng, the master of Yugzu Mansion who successfully recovered the 9-star pseudo-god realm. In the days that followed, Tianyuan Hall recruited troops from the other 7 palaces under its command, and began to launch a fierce attack on Fangfan. Still the same tactics. It's really, nothing interesting. Isn't it good to just steal the house one by one? Before, we used this method to kill Tianluo Mansion, Maitreya Mansion, and Yugzu Mansion successively. Now, it's okay to add 7 mansions. It's just a little more effort. Destroy those 7 mansions first, and finally end Tianyuan Hall. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4219. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and his mind gradually filled up. Ideas also gradually increased. At this moment, just follow the established direction and push forward. After January, the remaining 7 palaces of Tianyuan Hall were all destroyed. And their so-called allied forces of the 7 mansions are still swaying around in Changling Mansion. Unexpectedly, his hometown had been copied long ago. Suddenly, it became a joke. What a joke! Joy and self-knowledge. All kinds of fun are gradually becoming more and more. For a while, I followed silently with a deeper feeling. These 7 palace masters who had their lairs destroyed almost vomited blood. What's the matter? They still listened to the order of the Lord Hall Master to set fire to attack Changling Mansion and kill that Fang Fan. Now that something happened, Lord Palace Master should always come forward to deal with it, right? They can't bear all the losses, can they? So these people gradually gathered together, rushed over excitedly, and went directly to Tianyuan Hall, with sinister faces and murderous aura in their eyes at this moment. What the hell? What happened to the palace lord? For it. Can the palace master pretend to be coercive? Can the palace master make a fuss? It will beat you to death in minutes. Want to do something? Perfect for you. Go up and do it. You will be crushed to death in a matter of minutes. Too difficult. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, also looked numb when he saw the 7 palace masters coming together. What's the situation? What are you all running here for? Court death. Do what? Get back. A cold snort came, and Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, said with a gloomy face. What are you doing? Damn it. Do things here at every turn. Are you courting death? My lord, you can't ignore us. If you ignore us, we will really die. My lord, all our mansions have been captured and all our resources have been plundered. In this case, what do you say? You can't just keep silent, right? My lord, we all followed your call and gathered to attack Fang Fan, but now you are to blame for this. My lord, give us an explanation. That's right. We need to explain. We need to explain. The noise gradually settled into place. Eyeballs widened one by one, and the stream of consciousness suddenly burst. It feels very wrong. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, looked very ugly. Is it useless? These bastards are not afraid of themselves anymore? Hateful. How can this work? After this wave, he has no sense of existence. Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, pondered. He actually wanted to forcefully suppress this wave, but after much deliberation, he silently gave up. Some things should not be messed around. Mess around, really accidents will happen. If the proportion and rhythm in this are not well grasped, you have to follow the coolness. The thought is in place, and the emotional side is also a little unreal. Brows and furrows, thoughts wandering, eyes flickering. The current capital of this group of guys has been breached, their resources have been robbed, and even their family members have been slaughtered, so it's understandable that they are a little irritable. The key now is to stabilize them. Otherwise, it's just these people who don't know what's going to happen in the end. Now, don't be reckless. It's better to be reassured. If you don't appease well, it's easy to cause big problems. The murmuring sound followed, and the picture in front of him was compressed a little bit. Don't worry. Isn't it just the loss of some faith beads and treasures? Is this something? Why is this? Have you been clamoring here? Honestly, there's no need for that. As long as this Fang Fan can be found, as long as he can be killed, won't all these things come back? So, the most important thing now is to stabilize yourself. The rest is not a problem. Yes. That's it. Bayan, the Lord of Tianyuan Hall, brainwashed everyone. At this time, the most important thing is to let these people believe in themselves. The biggest problem with these people is that they are too unconfident. One counts as another, and they all feel that they are sand sculptures, and they all feel that they are not good enough. How can you make things happen if you keep thinking and thinking like this? In the end, isn't it just practice failure? My lord, your words are better than your songs. We don't know that we can get everything we want if we kill Fang Fan. But is this possible? Can it be done? My lord, there are many things that are not true. My lord, don't draw big cakes for us here. To be honest, this big cake is really not delicious, and we are tired of eating it. You have to change our rations. That's right. We have an opinion. Protest. Protest. There were bursts of teeth gnashing sounds from around. At this moment, black lines flickered on his forehead, and his mentality suddenly burst. The more I thought about it, the more I couldn't grasp it in my heart. After a wave, I'm really about to vomit. What the hell, can it work? Even a little bit of control is good, you can't just keep silent like this all the time, how uncomfortable is it? Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, scanned the surrounding area, and he found out that his bluffing trick seemed a bit difficult to use. The Jakesi people in front of them are smarter than the other, trying to fool them? Do you have this ability? Obviously this thing is too bad. For a moment, he frowned with a complicated expression. All kinds of consciousness swept into place, and the sense of suppression became stronger and stronger. Even if you kill the master of the palace, it's useless. Everyone can see it now. This Fang Fan is the biggest cancer in our Tianyuan Hall. I've been doing things all day long, and we can't be at peace at all. In this way, how can we stay in any mood? What you have to do now is not to make noise in front of the master of the palace, but to find this Fang Fan. This Fang Fan's ability to hide and escape is a bit better, but in terms of combat power, it may be like that. As long as we can find him, and then we all go together, we will be able to kill him. Well. Yes. That's it? Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall, nodded. Anyway, that's what he thinks now. The rhythm is stable, and the rest, it doesn't matter. The more I think about it, the worse I feel. Gradually, upset. Damn it. What and what? It was still extremely noisy down there. Obviously these people are not easy to fool. If you can fool around casually, it is impossible to achieve such a high position now. They also knew that making so much noise about the Lord of Tianyuan Hall, Bayan, had no effect, and they just wanted some benefits. Otherwise, this grievance will not be released. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 4220. The chaos in Tianyuan Hall continued. In the hall, the noise became more and more anxious. From time to time, there will be a fight. The rhythm or something was completely pulled up. Stream of consciousness, collapse in place. But at this moment, Fang Fan had already sneaked in with someone. After all, the 7 mansions have all been taken down, and there is no point in staying there, so I came here directly. This Tianyuan Hall is the most beneficial place. Almost each of the 7 prefectures provided more than 2 billion faith beads. Together, the 7 mansions have obtained more than 17 billion faith beads, which can be regarded as temporarily draining the 7 mansions. In addition to the more than 8 billion faith beads that Fang Fan had accumulated from the other 3 mansions before, Fang Fan now has almost 25 billion faith beads in his hands. Enough to promote 2 6-star pseudo-god realms to 7-star pseudo-god realms. As far as Fang Fan is concerned, he has never been willing to save. What he wants to do most is to fulfill his wish and develop in an all-round way. These are important. At a glance, aren't they all small problems? Why involve too much? Promote to the 6-star pseudo-god realm Goth God Destroyer Gatling Legion and the 6-star false god realm Blood Shuro Legion. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then made up his mind. Now he has 10 legions, 9 of which are 6-star pseudo-god realm legions, and only 1 7-star pseudo-god realm dragon army. According to Fang Fan's current intention, the 7-star pseudo-god realm legion must also be grasped, otherwise various accidents will happen sooner or later. The 3 legions with the greatest potential under my command are the Gothic Destroyer Gatling Legion, the Blood Shuro Legion, and the Shenlong Gren Legion. Of course, it doesn't mean that other major legions are meaningless and worthless. It can only be said that there must be a comparison in the middle. It's not known what it will look like after the comparison. Compared to the current dangerous battle situation, it is necessary to choose to promote the Gothic Gatling Legion, the Blood Shuro Legion, and the Dragon Man Legion. Start promotion. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then his mind moved. Ding. Consume 1.2 billion faith beads to purchase 1.2 billion god-level promotion cards, and the 6-star pseudo-god Gatling army has successfully promoted to the 7-star pseudo-god realm. Ding. Consuming 1.2 billion faith beads to purchase 1.2 billion god-level promotion cards, the 6-star pseudo-god realm Blood Shuro Legion has successfully promoted to the 7-star pseudo-god realm. After a wave, there is meaning and value. Fang Fan nodded silently. This wave feels very satisfying. The meaning is clear and the rhythm is stable. Isn't this the effect you want? For the rest, just deal with it calmly, and there is no need to spend too much effort to mess it up. Life is impermanent, the large intestine wraps the small intestine. Now I have 3 7-star pseudo-god realm legions and 7 6-star pseudo-god realm legions. I don't know what to gain in this Tianyuan Palace. What is certain is that Bayan, the master of the Tianyuan Palace, is in the quasi-divine realm, belonging to the quasi-divine realm that has ignited the divine fire. The quasi-god realm is divided into the Shenhuo quasi-god realm and the Godhead quasi-god realm. Here, after all, there are still some differences. As the name suggests, the Shenhuo quasi-god realm is the Shenhuo quasi-god realm that the 9-star pseudo-god realm powerhouse successfully ignited and promoted to the Shenhuo quasi-god realm. As the name suggests, the quasi-god realm of the Godhead is the quasi-god realm in which the 9-star pseudo-god realm powerhouse has successfully condensed the promotion of the Godhead. Relatively speaking, the quasi-divine state of Godhead is relatively rare, mainly because it is much more difficult to condense the Godhead than to ignite the Godfire. Although Bayan, the master of the Tianyuan Palace, is only a Godfire quasi-god, and may be considered a rookie among the quasi-gods, but after all, he is much stronger than the existence of the pseudo-god. It can even be said that they are not on the same level at all. The level gap here is too obvious. With such an obvious gap, it is difficult to uphold something. So first we need to find the treasury and the palace master's inner treasury in Tianyuan Hall. Search the faith beads inside, and first increase the combat power of a wave of subordinates. The rest will be discussed later. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes and thought to himself, his thoughts gradually drifting. This wave, the rhythm is extremely clear. Everything is proceeding according to the established direction. The treasury of Tianyuan Hall has been inspected, and there are no belief beads. Now let's look at the internal treasury of Bayan, the master of Tianyuan Hall. Now it can be regarded as taking food from the tiger's mouth. The inner treasury of Bayan, the lord of the Tianyuan palace, has been found. Now it's like opening a blind box. I don't know what's inside. There are many mysteries in it. If you can't hold it at all, it will all collapse. Whispering sounds followed, and the picture in front of him shrank, and after thinking about it, his consciousness was instantly suppressed. There is something. Master. I have gained a lot. This time, it's done. Yuan Hanlin rushed over excitedly and reported. The final results will be reported soon. 213.6 billion ordinary belief beads. Convert 2,136 God-level faith beads. Yuan Hanlin nodded quickly. Only 100 million ordinary belief beads can be condensed into a God-level belief bead. Under normal circumstances, this kind of God-level belief bead is only eligible to be enjoyed by those who are envoys or even the so-called Lord Vulcan. More than 200 billion. Enough. Enough. Fang Fan licked his lips, excited. After a wave, it's in place. You can promote the remaining 7 6-star pseudo-god realm legions to 7-star pseudo-god realm first. After all the legions under my command have been promoted to the 7-star pseudo-god realm, we can discuss the next thing again. This, you can have this, you can really have this. For me, this is an opportunity, a huge opportunity. An opportunity that once I grasp it, I can take off with the momentum. Fang Fan took a deep breath, his eyes gradually turned blood red, his thoughts were flying in place, and the rhythm was overwhelming. What to think, always think. All followed. Refreshing and stimulating. Promote all legions to the 7-star pseudo-god realm. The moment he got these beads of faith, Fang Fan started to do it. Endure. Patience is impossible to endure. Endure to the end, you will only make yourself regret it. Ding. Consuming 86 billion ordinary belief beads to successfully purchase 86 billion God-level promotion cards, 7 6-star pseudo-god realm legions have successfully promoted to 7-star pseudo-god realm. At this moment, Fang Fan's subordinates have a completely new look. That feeling is indeed different. There are still more than 100 billion faith beads left. You can promote a 7-star pseudo-god realm army to an 8-star pseudo-god realm. Which legion do you choose to promote?